So I was in Pennsylvania. I wanted to start boxing in college. Great decision. Let's get punched in the head constantly while trying to learn things. So the first day or two, I was sparring, right? So then I come up to Boston during the summer, go to Boston Sport Boxing Club, pretty legit club. They put out, pretty good fighters. So I'm like, yeah, I've had, these hundreds of sparring rounds and, I want to train up for a fight and blah, blah, blah. And they took one look at me and they were like, we're not letting you spar. Like, you barely know how to defend yourself. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I've been in the ring like hundreds of rounds. And so then it was like, no, because it's going to take you at least 6 months to learn to put these movements so deep into your head or into your body that you don't have to think about them. And your reaction under pressure is going to be the reaction that protects you, as opposed to, and I remember this happening when I got most pressured, would be when I would do stupid things and then get really rocked. So I think there's the objective knowledge, and then there's the time to sort of do it enough that it just becomes part of you. And like a very specific example to climbing is when people start out, they over grip everything. It takes a little while to realize, like, actually, a lot of times you need very little strength to hold on to a hold, so long as you're balanced and you're sort of using your body like a pendulum, putting the weight directly down onto your feet. So you might only have 1 foot, but if you can get enough weight over that foot, your hands are just almost like suggestions holding you to the wall. Whereas in the beginning, you'd be gripping the hell out of them. And so some of that, I think, is just learned over time in your body, learned. Like from titrating things, like sub processes you're not even aware of. Some of it I definitely think you can learn from YouTube. But related to what I see you doing coaching clients and with a motive, like, I think a lot of it is learning the mental models of even things like what is climbing and what is health. Like, is climbing getting to the top, or is climbing moving in a way that you comply your body to have your weight and center of mass over your feet at all times? Like, that's a really different definition of climbing, and it would lead to different behaviors. And similar to what you're saying, like, it's not where I always feel for people, and I'm not going to call out names, but you and I know some of these people, like, oh, I ate really well today, so I can have a cookie for dessert. And it's like, bro, your mental model is just fucked. Because, and I don't have any problem with people just saying, I want to have a dessert. I don't care what the effects are. I'm going to enjoy it. Because in their mental model might be, sometimes you just got to enjoy the thing you want to enjoy. But I think another way to think about the mental model is like, I want to be holistically, I want to feel good when I wake up in the morning. Like, I don't always, but that is now what I understand to be my goal. And so if I want to feel good when I wake up in the morning, as much as possible every day, that a lot of things are going to have to change to enable that. So it's like stimulants, downers. It's like alcohol's not going to make you feel good the next day. Too much coffee's not going to make you feel good the next day. There's so many of these things that impact that, like how you prepare for sleep, blue light, you can go forever. But it's like, is it a list of tactics, or is it a mental model related to a specific goal? And so if the specific goal is like, I want to be able to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and if the surf is good, go surf, or do whatever I want because I don't feel like shit from some series of behaviors that I undertook in the preceding days, then I can work back that whole model. Okay, well, how am I going to want to feel? Refreshed, recovered, strong, supple, in the sense of like from, joints, don't want your joints to be stiff. It's like, okay, well, then I got to eat in a way that's going to be low inflammation, because otherwise I'm going to wake up stiff. I got to go to bed at a reasonable time. And then that to me feels different than saying like tactics, like how much pasta should I eat? Because if you look at the end goal, you're like, oh, okay, so like I'm going to have something that's pretty pro-inflammatory. So I should eat that earlier in the day, because at least I'll give my body some time to digest this. And then maybe I can get something anti-inflammatory, like maybe a green drink very low in sugar later, to try to bring down that inflammation some, or take like a cold shower